Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of our weekly coaching webinar. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So I hope you were taken good care of last week by Steve. I was actually out at the Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego, California. I will tell you there are two events that I really do not miss. As a matter of fact, the last 2 years I've had to miss my son's birthday, which if anybody knows how much I am into my kids knows how much torture that is. But I've had to make it to this conference over the last 2 years. It is this and social media marketing world are by far the two most remarkable conferences I've ever been to. If you go there and you do it right, you're leaving with about a year's worth of ideas and concepts to implement thereafter, and you really get your thumb on the pulse of what's changing with online marketing. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through my notes from the event. I'm going to tell you everything I thought was pretty cool through the event. Now, you should know, just to give you an idea, what I'm going to go through here in this 12 pages of notes, and I don't know, 30, 50, 100, there's got to be there's 200 images that we'll have to go through maybe today, maybe next week, and maybe even the week after. These are one session at a time that I'm going to. Traffic and Conversion has about 5 to 7 sessions happening at every time. So just to give you an idea of my notes from this is only less than a fifth of all the content that took place there. And then I like to get the recordings and go through all of them later. And when I do that, I'll put together a bunch of other notes and go through those with you at that time. So let's dive in. This didn't come from Traffic and Conversion, but I will tell you that we are testing a new 7-step sales process that came to me when I was at Traffic and Conversion learning about what they do. And I felt like this could be really something that you may want and be interested in as well. So what we're going to do is start with opting in on or an opt-in form, right? So we usually run Facebook ads to an opt-in form, and the phone, we ask for phone now, email, and first name. Okay, we saw very little drop off on opt-in by asking for all three. But we don't ask for SMS permission. So now we're going to ask for SMS permission to send them text upon opt-in. Then when we deliver their guide or whatever it is they opted in for, which is usually a free guide, we usually deliver it through email, but this time we're going to deliver it through SMS. And what we have is an SMS message here that basically says, let me pull this up here real quick. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'll pull this up and actually show you what this looks like. I got a better document than this. Here we go. Look at that, right where I needed it to be. Okay, so this is how we're doing it. So number 2, we're sending this text. So now when we deliver the guide, we're saying, hey, contact first name. Thanks for requesting our free business credit guide or our business credit guide. Here's a link to download your guide. We'll also give you a call for free access to your Dun & Bradstreet Experian business credit reports. Now we get this through our NAV relationship, but this also can work with CreditSafe. So CreditSafe is about $500 a year for unlimited reports. The idea here is that we're letting them know they're going to get a free business credit report on this consultation. Now, we constantly do consultations, but this is something new for us. What we're doing ultimately here is we are texting them the minute that they get the guide, letting them know we're going to call. We're notifying them we're going to call, which all science shows gives us a better chance of getting that call received. We're giving them an incentive to want to get that call, a free business credit report, which you could easily get from CreditSafe as well. And then we're coming in next, and we're basically having a setter call them immediately within minutes of them opting in. So it used to be that we waited 7 to 21 days to get with them. Now we're immediately going to be on the phone with them to schedule the consultation, because again, we're giving them, they went from getting a free guide to getting a free business credit report and score and review, and it turns it into a real consultation. Okay, the next thing that we're doing is then we send out this text. The setter sends this, great chatting with you today. You'll get a text and email confirming your business credit consultation time on our call. You'll get a free D&B Experian business credit report. Again, what we found with testing, you don't need to say this. Even if you say your free business credit report, which you can get from CreditSafe, it'll still work. In the meantime, here's a credit building video. Now, just so you know, this is the same one in your back office. So if you go into your back office under Partner Resources, Presentations, you will see that we have the professional videos there, including this 6-minute video. And that 6-minute video is the very first thing that we send to them in that text. We also send them this email. It was awesome talk with you today. You get a text email soon confirming your business credit consultation time. On your call, you get a free business credit report. In the meantime, here's a business credit building video on how to condense years of business credit building into months. And this is basically a demo, that demo walkthrough that we did in the text. The next day, text goes out. Thanks for scheduling your consultation. Here's a short video worth watching. All we do here is like a credibility results video. Same thing through email. Okay, now what happens is the sales team's getting involved. And what we're ultimately helping them do is get a business credit report and reviewing it with them. And then as a result of that, so the very first call was sales gets involved, sets up another call with them to then come in and review their report. Then they send them a couple emails, okay? And the couple emails they send, again, give them that 6-minute video that you guys have access to in your back office, and then sales calls them and attempts them to close. So ultimately what this looks like is this. We're basically getting an opt-in. We're letting them know through text they're going to get a call from us to get a free business credit report. We're then calling them immediately to get them the business credit report. We're then sending them a couple text and emails in between with other links we want them to do. Why are we doing this? Because we never present to anybody unless they know about our credibility and they have seen the actual product. So again, what we're doing here through these emails and texts is letting them see the product through the 6-minute video, and we're then sending them a second credibility video to accomplish what we need, okay? Then the sales team is getting on the phone, getting them access to that free business credit report, and setting up a time to follow up. This has changed everything because our sales team went from fighting these battles on this consult, who are you again? Why are you calling? What's this about? To now the person's so thankful. Oh my gosh, you're going to help me get a free business credit report? Yes, but look, in a lot of cases, you might not have something established when we do this. So if you don't have something established, we're going to help you. Don't worry. I'm going to help you through the process of adding business credit. So they're basically not trying to sell anything on this call, they're basically giving them free access to a report to then follow up and sell them something later. Then we send them those emails and text again, the stuff we need them to see. Then they're calling and actually making a sale. Okay, so far, and again, I have no data to support this. We just started testing it this week. So far, the appointments that were all booked yesterday, everybody was responsive, and we started to get them to show up when they're supposed to. One of those people already bought. Okay, so when they called back after that for that consult call, they already purchased. So this is a new sales process we're testing. I will keep you informed as we progress, but this is something that I felt was worth your while to go through. Okay, so let me wrap that up. A lot of other things. I've got a bunch of links that we're going to test here, and I'll kind of show you what they are as they come up. One of the big things that we go through at Traffic and Conversion is we go through a lot of links or a lot of resources that are there that I think can actually help you. So this is called VastClicks, and VastClicks basically helps you set up your content for SEO purposes, which is something we're working on as a company anyways. We put out a blog post every day, but they're not getting us rankings in SEO because they're not designed for SEO. What VastClicks allows you to do is VastClick allows you to basically be able to create information or content like blog posts, but make them fit SEO parameters that will help you get more visibility. Bottom line, it lets you do what you're doing, like putting articles and blogs on the web, but do it in a hyper effective way that gets it more visibility. So I thought that was a site definitely worth checking out. Storybase.com, okay, very similar. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're growing organic content or growing organically with this kind of content. So let's look a little bit more at what they're doing. Find content ideas. Okay, so what they're doing here is this is a research engine to find the articles to even be able to write on. So instead of having somebody, including yourself, write an article that you don't know if it's even going to do anything for you online, because let's be honest, if you can write all the blog posts in the world, but if nobody sees them, it's not going to do anything for you. So the very first one was a way, or this one is a way, where you can actually create content that people are actually really searching for. And then the other one I just gave you was a way to actually do then research about the SEO keywords you want to include in that content to have the most exposure. So storybase.com, I can't ban it. Storybase.com is this resource worth looking into if you're doing any kind of production of content on your website. Marketing Muse, okay, this is AI powered opportunities to improve rankings. So again, the same thing. What they're doing is it's using AI to go through your content, and then from that, what they're doing is they're seeing what changes need to be made to make it more SEO friendly, to basically get you more exposure with that. RevealBot. So this is automation for Facebook. If you're doing Facebook ads, then this will actually come through and do all kinds of searches through your Facebook account, will find your best and worst performing ads, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember, even stop your worst performing ads. So what it's doing is basically turning off what's not working and what's keeping on what is working with Facebook. And if you do a lot of Facebook like we do, you understand the value of this, because we run hundreds of ad sets with Facebook just so we can scale appropriately and don't lose the actual play that we have in this space. Outgrow.com. Okay, so this is highly interactive content. So this is a big thing. Now, the conference we go to, Digital Marketer, these guys own a bunch of different brands, like well over 100. So what they basically do is they have like 100 companies. They test all these digital strategies. They get all these analytics from their results. And then a lot of their conferences showing what's working and what's not working. Well, one of the biggest things that's working right now, which is something you could easily do, it's very cheap to do, okay, and it's stuff that not a lot of people are doing, is this. It's calculators, it's quizzes, it's assessments, it's polls, it's chats. So what they're saying is really big right now are games, quizzes, basically stuff that's interactive with your clients. So this site, outgrow.com, you can create calculators, you can create quizzes, you can create assessments, recommendation, polls, chatbot. Now, we've already created quizzes and we're already starting to test quizzes. So I will let you know how effective that is in due time. But Outgrow is a great way that you can get some of these interactive elements that people really are responding to on social, and then put them on your social. Do the stuff that's getting it and that's getting the most attention. And again, a lot of what I've looked at out there on social, in social research, shows the same thing, that it's this kind of interactive polls, games, quizzes, etc., that's really going to be able to get you the most response, the best engagement per se on social media. So this is something you should definitely look into, because it's cheap and it's an easy way to get people doing things on social, especially if you're boosting the post on Facebook. You spend $5 to boost a post, even that can work really well. Okay, so this is a referral marketing platform here, Maitre, M-A-I-T-R-E, and their website's M-A-I-T-R-E app.co. So Maitre.co or MaitreApp.co. And what they're doing is, this is just basically a way to manage affiliates. I haven't looked into this a lot. This is what they recommended, but I put it on my list because Infusionsoft, which we use for our referral program, is horrible. They absolutely suck. So we've got to fix that, and we're going to replace it with another referral platform. I don't know whether this one will work or not. I have not looked into it, but it's on my list of things to look into. I felt this was interesting too. Upstart.com or Upstart.me. Now, Upstart.me is a way that you can actually sponsor other people's articles, which I thought was pretty interesting, because I'm a hacker, right? I like to hack things that most people aren't doing. What I find is that if you and I are experimenting and we're on the edge of things, we're doing things that not everybody else is doing, like quizzes, like games, like creating calculators, like doing stuff like this, then you're staying so far, sometimes years ahead of competition, where before they even figure out what you're doing, you've probably monetized that as most you could, and it's time to move on now anyways. So with this, you basically can come in. Let me see, and I think I've already entered my email address, but we'll go ahead and do that and see what happens. Okay, so then what happens with Upstart is you can find all these articles and all these people. So I'm going to go here to, for example, let's go to, I don't know, development. Let's do that. So these are all articles that are popular. It's showing you the subscribers of them, the open rate, all the information about who these companies are. And then you can contact these companies and sponsor their own articles. So you can run advertisements or put some kind of opt-in. There's all different types of ads you can run on already existing articles, which I thought was brilliant. I've never seen anything like this before. So you're basically going off the people that have already built big blog followings and have huge articles, and then what you're able to do is just basically grab their coattails and pay to actually publish or sponsor one of their articles, to actually be on there to advertise on one of their articles. So I thought that was a really interesting marketing strategy that's unlike anything that I've seen to date. Linked Helper, linkedhelper.com. This is a way to automate a lot of what's going on with LinkedIn if you have Sales Navigator. Now, you're probably not using Sales Navigator unless you're using it to mine LinkedIn. If you're using it to work LinkedIn, which let's be honest, I don't talk about this very much, and I should. We don't use LinkedIn to market, and we should, because the reality is Microsoft is crushing it with LinkedIn over the last year since they took over. And this is a very effective way to get potential leads because it's all business owners. So if you're using Sales Navigator now, then you can see there's just a lot of things you're able to automate here with Linked Helper. Okay, so it's a way to automate mailing system, autoresponder, group members. I mean, there's just a lot of things you could do if you're using LinkedIn as a marketing tool. This is something that you definitely want to work into. Or look into, excuse me. Hypergrowth, I think it is. Let's see, hypergrowth.com. Let's see if they are here. Oh, maybe so. I'm not sure if this is them or not. Hypergrowth. No. Oh, it is. I don't know what that is. That's awesome. That is actually a good conference. I'm going to take a look at that. I didn't realize what this was. I'm going to copy this article. Drift did some really cool stuff there, and I think this is probably, it looks like an event, Hypergrowth. I'm going to look at this. I'm actually going to figure out when this is and learn a little bit more. Oh, they're all over the place. Boston, September. So this might be worth going to too. They do a lot of really cool marketing stuff. I don't know anything about this event, but I do know that I'm going to look into this a little bit more, and it's an event you might want to work into too. It's called hypergrowth.com. Now, this is something I'm super, super, super excited to see if this actually does what it's supposed to do. First of all, their website's one of the best I've ever seen. I love it because you talk about showing your character. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's sweet. They got some bubble that comes like out of this, and then it like goes up there. But I just thought this was awesome because, first of all, the website itself shows really the character of the company, and you don't see that a lot. It's completely different, unique. But what they do is I don't understand it enough to speak to it. But what they're basically doing is it's conversational intelligence. So it's technology that reviews your sales calls for you and then does things like, did your salesperson actually ask for the sale? What did they or didn't they do on that sales call that they should have? So when we talk about that, this is exactly what this does. So you're able to come in. Let me see if I can get any more information on this. Okay, captures every customer call, web conference, and email. Finally, see how deals are progressing, so you can actually track that. Okay, Gong Knows just asked, want to know when a competitor came up in a call or how a discount requested was handled? Ask away, Gong will tell you. So if you're curious to want to know how your salespeople handle it when competitors are on the phone, you tell it that, and then it pulls out the calls and the parts of the calls where that information is. This is why this is important. We actually have a sales team lead here, Eric, and Eric runs our sales team. The problem is he can't monitor all of our sales calls because to listen to every sales call would just take hours and hours and hours. So we now are hiring a virtual assistant where all they do full time is monitor all of our sales calls, and they're doing this manually. What this is an automated way to manage all of your sales calls, to monitor all of your sales calls, and then to find out specific things like, did they ask for the close when they're supposed to? Did they ask for the referral? Did they do the things that you're looking to do? So I don't know enough about this yet. I actually have a demo scheduled with them for, I think, sometime next week. And if this is something that we end up getting and trying, I will definitely let you know. Okay, so that is some of those. Now let me go here to top grading, pull up some more here as we're going through. So this is something else. I'm just going through notes, and sometimes a lot of it I'm figuring out what you're figuring out as we're here. So top grading. So this is a great way to hire. So what top grading has to do is it has to do with all the training you need to really be able to properly onboard somebody, hire somebody, ask the right interviewing questions, all those different types of things. Okay, and this makes a lot of sense because if you've done any research into the cost of a bad hire, it's substantial. The amount of time and energy and money that you spend into somebody, training them, getting them there, and then all that momentum you gain that you lose by having to replace them is substantial. So if you could be able to hire once the right way, onboard once the right way, then that would be outstanding. It would save you a bunch of time and a bunch of money. And this is exactly how it is in the military. I can tell you, because coming out of the military, the longer you're in the military, the more money they offer you to re-up. So when I was out in 4 years, I don't even remember how much money they offered me to renew, but they offer you, depending on your position and how long you've been in, a lot of money. Like Navy SEALs make a tremendous amount of money when they renew after 4 or 8 years, because again, the amount of money that's went into training them is so substantial. So this is a really good way to be able to save money on hires, something you should definitely look into as well. Developing your purpose was something that was discussed. What is your purpose? And also, what is your belief as well? Now you can see here, I know you can't see here because it won't show my screen, but we have something at Credit Suite called the Moon Mission. And this is actually our goal of what we're trying to accomplish. And this has our purpose and everything on there as well. And this is something that you really want to consider doing, yourself, mapping some of these things out. And there it is. It's apparently just black. There's nothing there. Okay, so what we have is this, and this will outline our core values. It outlines where we're going for years. It outlines our purpose and everything we want to do. So you can see our purpose: we empower businesses to grow. Our mission is to unlock capital for 1 million business owners by 2030. Brand promise: the easiest way for your business to access money. And then you can see our projections of revenue, etc., for the next 3 years. And we did this in 2018. Then we put our core values here. So this is our purpose: we empower businesses to grow. You need to figure out what your purpose really is, and you need to make that clear and make sure that that's in your messaging everywhere. This was something that was really promoted during the event to make sure that you have that purpose, okay, that you're coming in and you know what your actual mission is, you know what your purpose is, and that's what you're really promoting out there. They also talked about the same thing about beliefs. And what they said, for example, is that when you see companies like Apple talks more about what they believe and what their core values are than they really do in a lot of cases about their product. Their commercials and things talk more about who they are as a company and their culture than they are a lot of cases, the products. Okay, so this is something, by knowing your purpose, knowing your beliefs, that's something that can make a huge difference for you as well. Let me look in that. I'm not done just going through all these notes. Influencers. So influencer is something really, really, really powerful as well that you should be doing. Now, we use a service called GroupHigh, and I'm going to tell you, because I have a guy that I met at a credit repair conference that's crushing it on Instagram, and him and I sat down and he gave me some really good tips. So what we use is something called GroupHigh. Now, what GroupHigh will allow you to do is GroupHigh basically lets you come in and research influencers. So you can see all these influencers here. You can see how many shares, how many likes. You can see each social channel: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, where they have a following. So GroupHigh is really good at helping you, do searches to find the right influencer, so you'll even know that you're going and finding the ones that actually have your audience and have a following, et cetera, et cetera. It also helps you contact those influencers. So the question now becomes, what do you do when you contact them? Well, my buddy that actually does credit repair and does this on Instagram, what he does is this: he finds the people that he wants to get to on Instagram, and then he just basically direct messages them a very simple question: how much is it for you to do an Instagram promo, an Instagram promotion for him? Okay, and that's what he'll do. He'll go to 10 influencers and say, hey, how much is it for an Instagram promo? And I love following you, and I'd like to know how much it is for an Instagram promo. Of those, a certain percentage will respond. And if you want to know how to get their contact info, you can get it from their social channels, or a site like GroupHigh can do this. And then the ones that reply will reply and say, here's how much it is. And then you have to decide, with their following, with their engagement, whether that money is worth them doing a promotion. And then he showed me an example. And there was this woman that, he's in credit repair. She's like, I don't know what her Instagram page is about, but they're all just completely provocative pictures. They weren't nude, but it was like completely provocative pictures of her and videos and stuff like that. So she has a really huge following. And then as a result, she gets on video and she says, hey, if you have credit issues, you should call this guy. He's really good. And, I know him well. And, and she just goes on and on and on and promotes him. Now, in this case, she did 3 video promotions for him and got him thousands of views on it. And now what I found, because I tried to dive into his numbers and he didn't know them very well, but so this is how the conversation went. Well, what kind of response do you get? Well, our phones ring off the hook. Okay. Well, if you spend $1,500 for an influencer, how many calls does that get you? Well, I don't know. I don't track that. Okay. So there was no science to what he was doing. He was just doing something that he knew was working, but he hasn't tracked it enough to know how specific each campaign he's doing is running. And I talked to him a little bit more about how to do that. So that's what you'd want to do. If you were to do something like this, you'd want to go to these Instagram influencers, or Facebook, or wherever you're going to find them. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to then want to find out, do they have the reach that you're looking for? Are they to the kind of audience that you want to get? And then again, what kind of engagement do they have? These type of things, to then figure out if there's somebody you want to do something with. Then then ask them how much it is, and then you have to weigh it out to see if it's worth it or not. I measured his numbers against Facebook. And that's what I did. I just looked at how many times I looked at the results of what he did. And I basically pulled it up. I said, okay, well, you had this many views on this and this many engagements. And I basically looked at it and realized it was the equivalent of what we spend on Facebook. Ultimately, we get the same views on Facebook as what he's getting by paying an influencer. So will it work? I have no idea. We don't know, but we're going to find out this year. We're actually starting to work with influencers. We're going to start paying some influencers, and we're actually really going to track to see the kind of response we're going to get. But I believe this is a large part of the future. As a matter of fact, I'm reading a book right now on branding and PR, and it talks a lot about this, that, influencers really is where it is and where it's going. These people out there that aren't maybe superstars, but they're somewhere in between and big on social, that have a pretty big following, and what those people can do for you if you find the right audience, the right influencer out there. And again, it doesn't have to be that you pay them. Okay, I've done training before, and I'll do more training on influencers where there's a lot of other things. You could just do cool things with them. You could collaborate with them on projects. There's a lot of different things you could do without directly paying them, but paying them is the easiest and fastest path in. So again, I think that this is worth working on too. Just kind of going through my notes here to see what else is worth going through with you. Okay, so I'm going to pull up, I don't know if I looked at rev.com. Okay, so rev.com is an interesting one as well. And this is what they said, 85% of what you see on Facebook video wise, 85% of videos viewed on Facebook are done so without audio. I thought that was super interesting. So 85% of Facebook videos are looked at but not actually played. So what they said was an easy way to do that, and all the statistics were like overwhelming with how much you could do, or how much of an increase you saw in engagement if you put captions on the video. So this is a service here, Rev, and Rev basically lets you do transcription and captions, where you can caption video and you can transcribe video. You can even put foreign subtitles on the video, which really doesn't appeal to us and what we do, but the captions definitely does. So a lot of people ask me about transcription. Here you go. It's a transcription service right here. A lot of people ask me about captions, or nobody's ever asked me about captions. I don't know why I just said that. But if you do want to know where to go to captions, this is a good place to do it. Rev. There might be others that are cheaper. I don't know. I've never even heard of this before. But again, being able to come in and be able to get captions is something I think that can really help drive your videos up. Now, I wouldn't do this for YouTube, because people I don't think are watching YouTube without sound on. It just doesn't make any sense. But stuff like Facebook, you are. So what I said to our team is, look, if we're putting videos on Facebook in our page or on our ads, we really need to consider this, especially if it's in our ads. So those will be some things that may work for you there as well. Again, just kind of going through. I've got actually, I'll just pull up my notes as I go through here with you. Just don't want to, just want to make sure I'm only showing you guys stuff that really makes sense, because a lot of these are just kind of my notes on what we're doing. Oh, the podcast setup autoplay. I won't even show you guys that, because that's actually on our Facebook page. Okay, so this was interesting too. What they actually came up with is they said, look, if you really look at what people are searching for and what people want right now, what they're really looking for and what they want are just answers to what their questions are. Most of these people are going into YouTube, they're going into Google, and they're saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? So what they're saying is the best way to really tackle this is these short FAQ type of videos. These where you're just basically getting in front of a camera or a PowerPoint, however you want to do it, and basically just answering questions. And I thought about this. I thought, oh man, this is so true. I have like these horribly bad old pictures where I didn't have a whiteboard. So I'm literally in my son's bedroom with his chalkboard wall, because he has like one of those walls that's just a big chalkboard, right? And I'm doing my FAQ videos on a chalkboard wall. It was like the worst things ever. But those things have so many views because they were short, simple, to the point, me answering questions directly. So I tell you this because you don't need anything for this. You literally write down the top 10 questions that you think people have or are already asking you. You throw on the video and you just basically go in and answer one of those questions. And now you have a YouTube video on how to get business credit without a personal guarantee or whatever it may be. So this was a pretty good idea. And another thing that somebody had said along the way was that in the beginning, you should really come in and give them an overview of what you're going to go over and tell them what they're going to get out of it right in the beginning to keep them there. Hey, just want to let you know, it's Ty with Credit Suite. Today, we're going to go over what you need to know about shelf corporations. And by the end of this video, you're going to know everything you need to know to determine if a shelf corporation is good for you, okay, or bad for you, which, by the way, they're bad for everybody. So that is just a simple thing, because now you hit my video, you say, hey, this is what this video is about. Here's what you're going to get out of it. And then you roll right into the teaching and keep the teaching very, very, very short. We're getting crushed on YouTube right now because YouTube has changed where they no longer want 30, 60-minute format, and they now want everything to be less than 10 minutes. You can just tell by how they're ranking videos. This is a big difference for you and I, because you could film a 1 to 10-minute video with almost no PowerPoint, no work. You just throw on a video and answer questions like I did in front of my son's chalkboard wall. Okay, so this is something super simple that I think a lot of people could do. Again, make a list, what you believe in. One of the things that they said was really effective, which I think is kind of ridiculous that we haven't done this before, is to put your phone number on your order forms. Little hack, no big deal, but made a huge difference in the amount of orders that they were actually doing or calls that they got as a result. Okay, sales send. Okay, and I thought this was interesting too. Again, one of the biggest themes of this conference was the fact that we've now moved into this world where we're really in this engagement conversation type of point in marketing. And by that, I mean that we're in a stage right now with marketing where, it used to be that you just give out information or you do this or do that. Now people want to engage. They want to reply. They want to converse with you. They want to talk to you. And this is why Facebook Messenger and all these message apps and all these things have become so popular. So you really need to do more with your team to make sure you're starting conversations. Now, some ideas of how you could do this. We have a super effective email that we send that we call a 7-word email. And it basically just says something like this: hey, are you still interested in building business credit? And I don't know how many words that is, but Digital Marketer, the company that I went to this conference with, they created it, and theirs was exactly 7 words. And I said, okay, it's a 7-word email, even if ours is 8 or 9. But it basically just starts a conversation. It says, hey, are you still interested in building your business credit? That's the whole email. Now, when people see this, they're typically not going to be rude and not answer. So when we send something like that out, we literally get hundreds and hundreds of replies. Yeah, I'm still interested. I've just been busy, da-da-da-da-da. It is a great way to shake the trees and get leads out of it. But there's a million other things you could do with that as well. When we looked at the emails our sales team were sending to customers, it was pathetic. They're trying to send marketing type emails to their customers, which really doesn't make any sense. They should be starting conversations, engaging with their actual people that they're speaking to. So there's a lot of things you could do here with engagement. We put something in our email campaign that gives them a chance to get questions answered in real time with Facebook Messenger. Hey, would you like your questions answered on business credit? Click here and talk to us now. and then they go and they converse on Facebook Messenger, then they've opted into our Messenger list, and that's now helping us. Now when we go live, we now promote and push that whole Messenger list, and I'm now getting 50 to 100 people sustained on our Facebook Live. And that's a big deal for me because like we sucked for a long time there with 15 to 35 people on our live. Now we're getting up to 50, 100, and that number is climbing. So it's helping us a lot because we're able to get engagement because we're getting more people there because we're building our Facebook Messenger list. Then we're able to send one blast to Facebook Messenger letting them know we're live. And then all of a sudden there's 50, 100 people in the room, which by the way, one more thing we're now going to start doing is we're going to start using our email real estate to promote Facebook Live, meaning we're now going to send a blast to everybody, schedule the live and blast everybody and let them know. And we're going to do everything we can to make live as big as it could be this year. So I think by using email, by building a messenger list, by notifying your prospects through email and messenger that you're going live, regarding live that can help you, regarding engagement. Remember, your sales team needs to keep their emails simple, short, and engaged. Don't forget that 7-question type of email and anything else that you could do to get engagement. Now focus on SEO. If you're doing SEO and you're building and spending money or have an SEO team, they talked about branded inquiries, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting. What they said is, look, if you're going to put your money into SEO, then you really need to put some money into inquiries that revolve around your name, right? And Richard Branson was at Traffic and Conversion, one of the speakers. And so they used him as an example. They said, you know, Virgin Galactic, right? Virgin Airlines, you know, just the word Virgin. So those are all branded inquiries that company would want to go after because there's all these variations of their name people are searching for. And that's really low-hanging fruit. Not a lot of people are trying to go after your own branded queries, your branded name, the things around your name. So by you going after it, it gives you a really good chance of dominating those keywords, and it's easier and more affordable to be able to get to that kind of SEO or to get to that kind of those kind of keywords. I thought that made a lot of sense. Okay. Email, and again, we're going to go over a lot of my images probably next time around. This time I'm just going through my notes. Okay, so I thought this was interesting too. The email, the list, I never thought about that before. But you know, one of the things that was mentioned on YouTube is it's like, hey, if you have a video that you really want to go up the rankings, well, then send the video everywhere. Have it sent to your list through email. Have it sent through Facebook Messenger list. Have it sent to your text list if you have one. Promote it everywhere when it comes out. Get it all kinds of exposure. Then continue to promote it. You know, 1, 2, 3 times. That video gets a ton of views. When YouTube sees that, you gain major precedence. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Okay, and this was pretty cool too. I didn't know you could do this. So you find a competitor's YouTube channel. So let's take a look at this. So what you do, and I didn't ever even knew this existed, but let me see if how I'm logged in here. All right, so let's go. You know what I'm going to search for? Here's what I'm going to search for. Cat videos. Just because I've never searched for cat videos on YouTube. This is a fantastic. I got to get this one. All right, let's get this. All right, so Tiger Productions. Let's go to Tiger Productions. Okay, so if I go to Tiger Productions video here, and hopefully we don't get distracted with cat. Oh, look at it. He's over 3 million people. Do you see it? 3 million people. Okay, so here it is. Sort by. You see this? If I go to sort by, I can go to most popular. And by going to most popular, it sorts all the videos on their channel based on what's the most. Oh my, look at this. That's insane. I thought 23 million was insane. This guy has 135 million views for a cat video. Oh, this is a giraffe. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. That's insane. So you see that pretty cool. Having that feature where you're able to do a sort by, and then able, as a result of that, I got to get off this page because this is bad because now I'm getting distracted by cat videos. So I'm shutting this down. Okay, so then you can go in and you could, as you could just see, you could sort based on how many views the videos have. So that was a pretty cool little hack, I thought, to be able to see what your competitors or which are the actual, which are the videos that have the most views on a competitor's channel. I thought that was a pretty interesting thing to do there as well. Let me see. That's my to-do list. I got so many things pulled up here. So give me a second. Traffic conversion. There we go. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. Short videos, Kate, we talked about this. The FAQ videos, they're in pain and they need answers quickly, right? So a lot of people that are searching are saying, hey, How do I get money quickly? Well, that's somebody in pain, right? So if there's somebody in pain, you want to do an FAQ video about how to get money quickly, and then you want to do the top 3 ways to get money, within 72 hours if you're a business owner. So again, it's about these short videos that answer those questions. We talked about that as well, the hook and the outcome. Okay, talking about how you need to tell them what you're going to cover and what they'll learn. That makes a big deal there. Okay, and then could we talk about the core belief? Okay, makes less than what we believe until we talked about that. Talked about that. Okay, I thought this was super interesting. I'm like, this is so insane. I never even thought about this before. So we started sending text reminders to people of webinars, which I think makes a lot of sense. By the way, it really boosted our attendance rate. So what happens when we do webinars, instead of just sending them email reminders, we would send them text reminders and say, hey, the webinar's starting in an hour. And what they said was, well, we do this, and then apparently what we never knew was people were replying to those texts. And I'm like, I never thought about that. So what's happening is they're getting a text saying that it's starting in an hour, and the person's replying going, I can't make it in an hour. Can you send me the playback? And the text goes nowhere. Anybody that knows that setting up text messaging, usually you're not setting it up for those kind of texts to go anywhere where anybody would even be monitoring the reply. So they actually came up with this, and this is pretty awesome. They came up with 2 options here. One of them is Crisp Chat. We'll pull up both of these. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this page up here. I like their bubbles. I think it's cool. And then the other one is Front App. And what these 2 allow you to do, there's so much good stuff we're going to be jumping into here. Wait till I get to the Facebook group extractor. That one's awesome. Okay, so give your customers a messaging experience a human touch. Okay, so this is all personalization. Let me see what this is here and see if this gives me one of these who try and text now. Okay, so so here we go. This is called the shared inbox for Teams, Front. So what they're doing is using Front to pull all of those text replies into one platform that then the entire sales team is monitoring. So what they do is they said, okay, look, we're trying to send text reminder, hey, the webinar starts in an hour. We got 10 people that responded to that and said, I can't make it. Can you send me a replay? Those used to be dead. Now those go into this messenger right here where the sales team sees it. Then the sales team is able to then get involved, answer that inquiry, and then generate a lead out of that. I just thought that was brilliant because anybody that's doing any kind of text messaging right now in marketing, which we're doing a lot of it, by the way, you don't usually set yourself up to get replies very well. And I never even thought about a concept where somebody's replying to webinar reminders and they're expecting a call from us. So I thought that was a really interesting thing to do, is to be able to know that people are responding. Another thing that was interesting is if they attend the webinar and they left, text them why they left. I'm like, wow, that's so basically brilliant. Like, why not go, hey man, like there was a webinar and up to speed. Do you want webinar on another topic? Just text them. If they attended the webinar and they didn't buy, just ask them why they didn't buy. Hey, I saw you attend the webinar, but you're not a client yet. What's up? Is there something else I could do to help make this more convenient for you? Instead of just saying, oh, that's a lost lead, just ask them what's going on. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And again, we've talked about 2 things here. This Front, which combines and pulls a lot of the stuff into one e-box, which, by the way, we use Zendesk for this. So we use Zendesk, and it pulls all of our social media channels and everything into one inbox for our team. So we use that. And this is called Crisp. Let's look at this. So Crisp for startups. So Crisp, I'm pretty sure, is all about personalization, and this is all about personalizing content, but I'm not positive. I'm going to let you dive into that. I'm not, again, okay, experience the human touch. See, this is what's bad. Okay, let's look at a website. So we're looking at Crisp. Give your customer messaging experience a human touch. Do we understand what they do? No. We understand it's something with messaging, but we don't understand what they do. So let's go down. Grow from 0 to 1 by collecting valuable feedback from your customers. Okay, that would make sense. So we're collecting survey data. Cross-channel customer support experience using modern messaging. Crap. This is what all this is. This is all crap. This means absolutely nothing to you and I, either one of us. Why would you even put something as stupid on a website? Cross-channel customer support experiences using modern messaging. I guess I could figure that out. Okay, so again, the problem is that if we've looked at this, it's pretty difficult to understand. I'm a marketer. I understand marketing pretty well. I still don't know what they do. So when you don't know what they do this long on a site, this is what happens. You're done. And so that's a good example of what not to do on your website, because it's hard to even explain what that's about. Okay, replace web forms with buttons. Let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm like, wow, that's common sense. Why did we not do that before? And I'll show you what I mean. Everybody that tests landing pages knows without a doubt that this is how landing pages better perform. None of our landing pages have forms. They all have a button. Every single one of our landing pages has buttons. Why? Because all the science supports that buttons work better than forms. And guess what we put on our website? Forms. That's ridiculous. Why would we put forms on our website? That doesn't even make any sense. Look, here's a form, and then here's a form too. On every page, we have forms. Oh, there's another form. Oh, look, okay, here's another form. So this is really, I can't believe it's absurdly ridiculous that we do this. We know on landing pages that the best performing landing pages are ones that are buttons, not forms, and yet we load our website up with forms, which makes absolutely no sense. So buttons, and let me show you how this works. Click button, open form, right? Click button, open form. So buttons that open the forms work better than just showing a form. So again, we're changing that on our website, and I highly recommend that you do the same thing too. Okay, and I thought this was interesting too. So what they said is, they said, look, if you wanna meet your customer, then you need to see what they're searching for and go to where they are, meaning what they're actually looking for. And these were some of the most common searches. Okay, which is best? So they're looking and saying, which is the best car to buy, right? Which is the best phone on the market? The next thing that they're searching for is reviews on that. Okay, what's the best phone on the market? Apple, iPhone. Okay, well, what's the iPhone's reviews say? Okay, what to avoid is a common search term. How do I avoid this? What I don't want. So they're looking and searching for what they don't want. Then they're coming down and narrowing it down. Is it best for me? Will this work for me specifically? Okay, do I need it? Can I afford it? Where can I buy it? And am I getting a deal? So these are some of the common search terms that people are looking for right now. And if you think about that, that makes a lot of sense. What we're going to probably talk about next week as we get into images is this whole new way of people gathering information, which they talked about, which is so freaking true. Like, it is so true that they go to your website, then boom, they're up to your social channel, then boom, they go to an organic search, then boom, they go to your reviews, and they're going all these different places. It's no longer you can put what you need them to know on your website. They're going across cross channels to get information about your company. You now have to market across channels, because if you don't, then you're not going where they are. You got to do that, and then you got to know what they're searching for so you could better answer these questions and hopefully give them what they're looking for on the website. Do SEO on the article. Which is the best business credit company? Well, or do even better than that, do a review site for that. You create the review site, make yourself first, something like that. So I thought that was worth it. We're looking into affiliate summit. I have no idea what the affiliate summit is, but it sounded awesome. So I wrote it down here because I think it has to do with joint venture partners. And I think this might be one that we're going to go to here. I don't want that. Europe. I don't want to go to Europe. I like Europe. I don't want to go there. So I've got to look into that a little bit more. Barcelona. This isn't Barcelona, right? I got to go. I got to go. You saw it. I have no choice but to go to Barcelona. So maybe I will. But affiliate summit, that's one of the things I put on my list that I've got to look into. This is something pretty interesting as well. Since conversations and engagement become so important, what they said is you really should get a cost for how much it costs for you to actually have. And somebody said no audio, but I'm seeing audio on my end. So Ralph, I think that's on your end. I don't have any other comments, and I'm seeing it work on my end. You might want to get out of this and come back in. Hopefully that will help you. Okay, so you should be measuring at some point as you get more into marketing how to acquire a conversation and how much it costs, because this really is part of our future here. So that makes a lot of sense as well. We added proof to our website, and I'm not sure if it's got that on there yet, but this is something we've been wanting to do for a while. And proof, okay, what proof does is proof, you'll see as we pop this up. So what proof does is it puts these right here on the bottom left. See this? So that is what proof does. It's another form of social proof that goes on your website, and you can say how many, so-and-so just subscribed, so-and-so just purchased. You could choose between subscribers and purchases and whatever you want it to be. But this little social widget, they say that the most effective websites, hear this, it's insane. Most effective websites, 65% of them have to do with social proof. 65% of the most effective websites are dedicated to social proof, which means that it's testimonials, it's case studies, it's reviews, it's this. So you want to add as many of these things to your website as possible for social proof. So here, I'll show you what I mean. If we go to Credit Suite, for example, then what you see here is right here on, look, you just saw that. Okay, perfect. There you go. So you see bottom left, this is actually now running on our website as of today. We just started testing that today. So you can see here that they just purchased, and we can see that all this is on there right now. So we've got this as social proof. We have it, so tell us reviews as social proof. We have all of this as social proof down here, testimonials. We have Trustpilot. So look at all the social proof we have on our website. We have all of this, we have this, we have all of this, and then on top of that, we also have this. That's a lot of social proof. So any of the social proof you can put on there, the better. If you're not using So Tell Us, you need to be. That's insane that you're not, because they are awesome. So if you go to creditsuite.com/So Tell Us, you'll get a discount. You won't have to pay their setup fee. creditsuite.com/So Tell Us. So they give us like some affiliate commission. I don't know how much it is or what it is, and I don't really care if you use our affiliate link or you don't, whatever you want to do. But the reason I tell you about this is that this has helped us dramatically get more reviews. We're spending like $500 a month on Trustpilot, which is the biggest ripoff on this planet. So Tell Us is like $100 a month. If you go to creditsuite.com/So Tell Us, they'll waive the setup fee they typically charge, and which I haven't looked at their website, but they typically charge a setup fee of like $150. And then like what they'll do is when they get a review, they ask the person, would you like to leave a review on Google, Facebook? So it's allowed us to get reviews in one place and get reviews in a lot of places as a result, the way that they set this up. So it's very, very, very effective. So I do recommend that you look into So Tell Us. Now, another one that they had here was, I want to look into Drift as well. I don't remember, we talked a lot about Drift, but I don't remember what we were looking at Drift for. So let me try to pull Drift up here, try to knock out some of these other links that are up too, so things don't go too slow. Okay, connect your sales team with your future customers now, but use Drift. Okay, so again, we're back to a point. Let's see, here's your problem too. Okay, so somebody when you get the store, it's completely empty. There are no sales around you. There are no products on the walls. They'd be pretty strange. Okay, so I don't know what Drift is. I don't know. Again, but I know that they did some pretty cool stuff, and I haven't been able to remember exactly all what they do because, again, I'm looking at a website that gives you no idea what they do. But I imagine that this is part of what they're doing, is getting engagement this way. But this is something worth looking into as well, Drift. Okay, Opt-in Monster. We use Opt-in Monster, but what I thought was interesting with them was talking about personalizing opt-in forms. So what you could do is you can come to Opt-in Monster, and there's several of these now that they call dynamic content. And with dynamic content, you can plug your CRM into your website, and then what happens is if that person's already been to your website, opted in, and they're in your CRM, we now know their first name, and then you can personalize the actual content to go to them. So when they go to see an actual opt-in form, and again, if you're coming back to next week to see me on next week's, we'll start going through some visuals. We'll start going through pictures, and I'll revisit this and show you what it looks like in a real picture. But the nice thing is you can completely customize the offer to the customer. Hey, Ty, before you leave, don't forget to grab your free guide on building business credit. Look, that's freaking awesome, and it's freaky too. Like if you go to a website and all of a sudden they're like, hey, and you never even gave them your name, and then they're like, hey, Ty, don't forget your free guide. You're like, whoa, that's like custom personalization, but it all happens because they've been on your website before. So you can use Opt-in Monster for the personalization, and there's other stuff you can use as well, but you're going to have to be able to do a little bit of research because I'm not sure off the top of my head how to integrate that, and that's an abandonment pop-up, by the way. You can see I'm leaving the website, so they pulled up this abandonment opt-in. So again, personalization. And this is a huge topic these guys talked about. Huge topic. Everything needs to be personalized nowadays. That's the new trend, right? Everything's all about personalization. And they showed simple things like a Louis Vuitton wallet that if you get your initials on it, raises the price by like 60% just by putting your initials engraved in there. Or I don't want to say engraved because it's a wallet, but by putting your initials on there. So this personalization of them coming to your website and seeing their name and personalizing content for them and personalizing the experience for them really is the future. And you and I both know that, right? Because that's how Facebook works. Facebook knows our likes, they know our interests, they know all the stuff. And so then they just only show stuff on our Facebook page that we're typically interested in. And to be honest, I'm one of the weird people. I'm not a social media guy. I don't like anything to do with social media. Okay. I just put stuff out there to give some people some idea what's going on. I'm just not a big social media guy. I'm more of an introvert. Okay. But what it really comes down to is that you're able to come in and use a lot of that to be able to kind of turn around and to be able to get more engagement and reply and more on social media when you're actually using it. So hopefully that makes sense because I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. But again, I'm not really big on social. I like to get on social for the ads, I guess is what I'm saying, because they personalize it for me. I want that experience. You know, Bill Gates, years and years and years ago, I read a book that, you know, when he walks through his home, the art, the color, the ambience, everything changes when it's different for him and his wife. His wife walks into a room, the art changes to what she wants to see, the colors change, everything. And if you think about it, that's the future of our world. The future of our world will be, I will walk through a mall and the ads that I see will change to me. I will walk by advertisements and those advertisements will be customized to me, just like they are with Facebook, okay? I have multiple Facebook accounts and I have multiple Facebook accounts with all kinds of ethnicities because I think it's very interesting to see the kind of images and what they show me with ads of differences, of different age groups and different, whether you're male or female. I just think all of this stuff is really interesting because it's completely personalized. My experience on every one of those Facebook accounts is different from each other because they're customizing it for the person that's that Facebook account's for. That is the future. You need to know that. So this customization, this personalization, these type of things are really, really, really big into the future of what marketing is always going to be about. Now, Sean says, hey, Ty, if you'd like some info on Affiliate Summit, hit me back and I can put you in touch with people who go to Affiliate Summit East and West. Can be very specific. Yeah, I would like that, Sean. But do me a favor, send Steve an email. Steve is going to be the one that's going to look into that if you don't mind. And that's going to be Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Stephen at creditsuite.com. Man, if you'd be so cool, because I'm not in a point where I could actually take a screenshot of what you just sent me. Send him an email, Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N. Oh, and you can see, look at that. You see that? Opt-in Monsters using Proof 2. So you can see that right here at the bottom left of their page. So Stephen at creditsuite.com, and please give me that information. I'd love more information on that affiliate summit. So again, personalization, customization, becoming very, very, very big. Okay, header on the website with 2 calls to action. I thought that was really interesting as well. I'll show you that in another image probably next Tuesday or the week after. Take non-engaged. This was so super smart too. So what they're doing is taking people that are in their email database. If you have an email database that's large, they're taking people that are not engaged. And just to let you guys know what we do, if somebody's not engaging in a month, they're not opening and clicking on emails, we take them out. We stop. We withdraw them from our email sequences, even though they don't opt out. And we do that to help improve email deliverability. Now, let me tell you something. It's scary. When you start opting thousands of people out at a time, it really freaks you out. But our email deliverability is fantastic because we don't wait for people to engage. If they don't engage, we pull them out immediately, okay? Now, what they're doing here is they're taking the non-engaged people, and then what they're doing is they're basically exporting them, rerunning ads, because you can create a custom audience with Facebook ads with that. They're running ads to that custom audience, getting them back to opt in, but they're having them opt in through SMS text messaging. And then through SMS text messaging, they're then sending them the information through text, not just email. So what they're saying here is, hey, look, if people aren't opening an email, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested in what you have. It just means maybe they're not email people. What you should do is take that list, rerun ads, rerun them to a different landing page where they opt in through text and deliver them information through text as well. I thought that's pretty smart. If you're an Ultimate customer, you're about to have access to a bunch of text in your back office where you're going to be able to run text campaigns as well as email marketing campaigns, and that would be perfect for that. So that way you run somebody back through an opt-in page that asks for an SMS text message, and then you do what we do, which is we deliver weekly text training tips. Every week we send you a 1 to 3 minute video with a training tip. And so now, even if you're not an email person, we're hitting you through text, and we believe that. We're building a messenger list through Facebook Messenger. We're building a text list. We're building an email list because we believe people communicate differently, and you need to communicate with people on the level and platform that they're communicating with. So if it's not email, maybe you need to switch your message delivery platform. Not that maybe it's not that your message isn't working. I thought this was interesting as well. The vast majority of traffic is now mobile, not desktop. So building a landing page specifically for mobile makes a lot of sense. And then they're saying, hey, you should build a whole second one for desktop because it's impossible to have one page that looks really good on both. So build separate ones. For your Facebook ads, they're asking if you want this ad on desktop, do you want this ad on mobile? So do an ad for mobile and a mobile landing page, create a different ad that then turns around and goes to the other landing page, which has to do with being created for desktop. So I thought that was good. Brandgaming.com, I already showed you games, quizzes, etc. We already looked at one of those sites. Here's another one of these sites that we will look at right here, brandgaming.com. Some questions, and I appreciate that, Sean. This is something I love and is new, but works on during networking events, which I'll look at that, Constance, which I can't copy that for some reason. Russ is awesome, but waiting for SMS for active campaign. Yes, I have two, and I finally got somebody to prioritize it for me, and we will have both retention and prospecting campaigns. So they have all the content they're building now. So this is something that here Constance says, the only way to increase engagement, collect data in real time. So this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, I've seen this too. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So you should check this out too, which is really good for gathering information at events. Guys, this is the future. Let me tell you how insanely crazy this is. Your cell phone has like 7,000 points of data about you. And now what's happening is we're in this world where they're able to geo-target you, meaning they're able to go through satellites at a shopping mall, and they're able to figure out who is in that shopping mall. Then from that, they're able to get that information to the advertisers that are then able to run specific ads to those people. Okay, so think about how this makes sense, right? I'm in a mall. Down here we have Nordstrom. Don't know if Nordstrom's everywhere, for example. So Nordstrom, let's say I'm at Nordstrom. Nordstrom knows that, and boom, they run an ad right to my phone that gives me 20% off Nordstrom. How effective is that? That's this world of personalization that we're in, this geo-targeting and all this information where these advertisers are able to get so specific in who they're running ads to that they literally can run an ad to you when you're within 50 foot of the Nordstrom. I mean, that's just how crazy it is. So it's something you should look into and take a look at this Mixtron too. I thought that was pretty interesting that Constance recommended. And Constance, thanks for recommending that. Okay, so two-part order form. We do this already, and I think you should do the same thing. So if you go to creditsuite.com, what you're going to see is that if you go here, creditsuite.com, we're going to go to pricing, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to checkout here. Oh, actually, this is the last thing I'm going to do, and then I got to wrap up because it's 4 o'clock and I have to be out of here. If you go to any of our packages, which you can see right here, I go to buy it now. Now, if I go to buy it now, then what happens is there's this, and I have to enter my email to go to the next page. This is a two-part order form. The reason we do this is that the minute you do this, then if you don't finish the order, that lead goes to our sales team, and our sales team will call you. So that's something you should consider doing as well. I'm going to wrap up because I'm out of time. And just to let you know, guys, I'm on page 3 of 12. And I have hundreds of images to go through too. So we might be doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, but I don't think anybody doesn't like this, right? Because I just went through, I put 100. We're probably going to go through 250 ideas when this is all said and done. So I am going to go ahead and highlight this so I know where I left off. And then I will be back next Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, where we will resume all of this. So I'm going to go jump off. If you have any questions, support at creditsuite.com. I've got to jump off before answering a bunch of questions today, just because I was supposed to have left a couple minutes ago to get to an appointment. So bye, everybody. I will see you next Tuesday, where we will resume this, and we might go on for another 1, 2, 3 weeks to go through all these concepts to get you up to speed with what you should be doing for marketing in 2019. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.